What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Transfer signing news as this crazy January nears the end. Leeds United get a couple of bodies in the door just before it shuts, and yeah, I'm delighted. I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat it. I'm delighted about the movement in and out. It's showing me exactly where we're going now and in the future. Love it, absolutely love it. And just to show how much I love it, cheers, everyone. Super Mole. Hey, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. How is everyone doing it? Um, yeah, man. Andrea saying, announce Europe. Hey, man, we'll talk next year. We'll talk next year. Yeah, good to be back, Ethan. Yeah, I was gonna do a stream at around this time anyway, but then I thought that they'd be doing a signing thing maybe about 6 o'clock, but I think they just held it off until the FA Cup draw, and we're against Fulham or Sunderland away for people that don't know. So listen, it's not the worst draw in the world. I wish we got a home one, but listen, we'll take it. We're in the next round. We'll deal with it then. Carl saying, let's go, KG. Glad to catch you live. Yeah, man. Shout out to everyone in the building. Listen, if you're here watching the replay, like the video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Drop your comments below about the sign of McKennie and the outgoing of Llorente. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on. So much going on. And listen, just shout out to Mr. P, Karen Kurt, and John Abbott for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated for the donations. Yeah, listen, this has been a mad window, man. This has been one of the most entertaining. Maybe it's because we've been involved in it quite heavily. This has been one of the best windows that I can remember. There's so much going on around the league, around Europe. You know, you're seeing Cancelo going after Bayern Munich out of nowhere. You're seeing Everton bidding 40 million for Conor Gallagher. It's all mad. It's all mad. But listen, we're taking care of our house, and that is the main thing. We're not looking at other teams going, oh my God, they're doing this business. We need to look out, you know, Sean Dyche at Everton. Oh. No, we're taking care of our own house, and I for one am delighted. Gail saying fab window for us. I think it's been brilliant, Gail. And you know what? It's not over yet. I don't envision much else happening. But then who saw Llorente going out on loan this month? So I'm gonna hold off until we do the whole rating of the window and everything else like that until after it shuts, and we'll come back and do a whole separate stream for that, because I still think that there's possibly a couple moves in and around us that people may think, oh, this could be interesting. A lot of movers and shakers. You know, Sander Berger could be heading to Fulham, who are, you know, flying high in the league. It's amazing. It's amazing what's going on. This has been one of the most entertaining windows that I can remember. Nigel D saying you called it 7 days ago, KG. Western in the ER building. Let's go. Yeah, crazy how that happened, isn't it? Crazy how that happened. I mean, listen, he's saying, you know, via Phil Hayes' article in the Athletic that he had word about a couple of weeks ago that Leeds were interested, which is interesting. And at one point, he thought that the deal wasn't going to happen. Then they told him to get on a plane, and it was good. It was good for him to go. So, yeah, listen, it was just a hunch, and I'm glad it's paid off, because I think now, listen, you know, we're going to talk about this more on the next stream. I think in the one where the window closes. But I know people think that we need another defender, but I think that we've got a workable defense. I don't think it's the worst anymore now with Verber in there. I don't think it's the worst in there. I think, you know, listen, and you can have your own variation of what you'd like to see, but the way I see it, if we're talking Premier League, and it's Strauch, Verber, Koch, and Christensen purely because when Ayling's up the pitch, he's nowhere to be seen back at right back, and we leave huge gaps. So I mean, just go with that four I was saying. I think that's serviceable. I'm not saying it's going to keep clean sheet after clean sheet, but the guys in front, Rocker, McKennie, Adams, and then our attackers. Yeah, listen, it bodes well. It bodes well, and we'll talk about this more in depth on a future stream. But we're here to talk about WESTON McKENNIE coming. Listen, guys, I didn't know that he was coming. Please stop that. Please stop. Sham saying our defense got better by Llorente leaving, and this is it for me. This is something else I'm really proud of the board for doing this month. You know, we'll look at the windows in totality when it's shut, but this month alone, we've got rid of a couple of players for me, and players that aren't going to feature much. And it seems like the emotion is kind of going out of it, or if it hasn't gone, they've just said, you know what, it doesn't matter. We're going to have to let these players go. You know, even if you talk about Gelhardt and Drame out on loan because they're not going to get much first team football, that's good, because we weren't really doing that before. And then you've got Mateus Click and now Diego Llorente who have left, who are not good enough or just don't suit the league. It's really good stuff for me. I've always said sometimes you can make your team better addition by subtraction, and I think we've done that this month. I really do. And Jeff here saying Paddy getting back to something like great touches at the weekend. I've got a little something about Patrick Bamford, but again, that's for the next stream because I'm waiting to see how this transpires, this kind of form, this hunger that he's got again to play football again. Now he's icing everything up. I'm gonna wait though until the next stream to really talk about it because there is a way for me that Patrick Bamford possibly stays at the club. So now a lot of you will be shocked at that, but again, that's for a future stream. Stephen asking KG, why did we give Llorente a new contract and let him go? Man, we're gonna go on to Llorente in a bit. But listen, just to say, Weston McKennie, after a long, drawn out affair over the week where it seemed like it was on off again, details changing, has signed for Leeds. He's here. He's pictured with Tyler Adams, who met him today, which, as you can imagine, they're gonna ball out together in midfield. You know what? Sometimes you have to put your neck on the line. I'm absolutely loving the connection that we've got there with Adams and McKennie alone. And Rocker now, I reckon it releases Rocker a bit more. Oh, don't do this. Why is everyone thinking I'm a clairvoyant now? What's going on? Yeah, I mean, some people are talking about Llorente here. But yeah, McKennie, number 28, on loan for the season, just over £1 million loan fee, make it permanent in the summer. I think via Di Marzio, and again, I don't know if this is true or not, so don't take this as gospel. But they're saying that the buy option in Weston McKennie's contract will be automatically triggered if Leeds avoid relegation, obviously, and he makes 10 appearances this season. And his salary will increase from 3.2 million euros to well over 4 million at Leeds. So, let's just say that's true. I mean, that tells you something. If Leeds United in the Premier League can pay more than, regular Champions League Juventus, I mean, that shows you just the money. I mean, you've seen it along with Chelsea and everyone else. The money that is in the Premier League, it's huge. But I think that the deal will go through as long as it works out for both parties, and I don't see why it won't. But yeah, this is exactly NJ1. What a bit of business. It's tremendous business. Now, whether you think the 33 million is too much, that's between the clubs. And as long as they stay within the parameters of FFP, I don't care. I've always said I don't care how much a player costs, as long as the club don't make themselves broke over it. You know what I mean? We've been there once. Obviously, FFP wasn't around there. I don't think we'll ever go there again. I think we've learned from that. Listen, I think this is good business. 33 million for a 24-year-old player who could possibly get even better as well. I'm here for it. Box to box, good passing, threat of set pieces, good for a goal. Look out for the Harry Potter wizard celebration. It's coming. So yeah, I'm good. Reformian saying FFP, look at Chelsea. We have nothing to worry about. Chelsea, they're making UEFA change the rules, Reformian. I mean, it's all mad. No more 8-year deals after this season. It's going to be down to 5. So, yeah. NJ saying, with this signing, do you think the too big for Leeds talk has gone? Can we now keep any asset we choose? Great question. There is a thing where, obviously, NJ, if we're talking another, just go for another example from Juventus in Vlahovic, I do think that he's probably not looking at Leeds United and thinking, I'd like to go there. But of course, you can always sell a project, and it is harder mid-season. So again, full credit to the board, Jesse and Tyler, for helping get this one done. But yeah, I think there is more of a chance now. When you get more players like this, players want to come and play and be part of a project that's going up, rather than looking around the team. And with all due respect to the players that were here before, looking around and going, do I really want to come and play with these kind of players? Not really. Not in the position they're in. But if you're getting players like Adams, if you're getting players like McKennie and Nanto, who's become a star now, Somerville, let's carry on, Rodrigo, it bodes well. Meslier in goal currently because he's very highly rated around Europe, I will tell you that. So listen, it's there's more chance of us keeping these kind of players when you get players like this in 100%. 100%. Where it's one of these now where we don't have to worry about being like a Southampton or something like that, where we get a player like Adams and think, at the end of the season, Adams gone. No, we're going to add to Adams and McKennie. I think that's the way it's going to go. Ben asking, can McKennie play against Forest? He absolutely can. He's registered way before time. I think the cutoff date would have been, because it's a Sunday game, maybe Friday. So yeah, he's available, ready to go. And Bummy here, I think Bummy's a Chelsea fan, but he's saying Nanto is a baller. Not gonna lie, I hear this all the time. He's getting a lot of people's attention, and you know what? It's funny. I was saying to this to the Coppish boys, who are Liverpool fans, as some of you may know, is that they have gone and got Gakpo when we was after Gakpo, and Gakpo rejected us, and you can understand that. But now, when you look at it, Nanto is definitely more of a Klopp player. The way that Nanto plays is how Jurgen Klopp likes his players to play. And we got Nanto, and they've got Gakpo, who's looking very, very meaty right now. You know, he may settle in eventually, but he's not looking good. He's not looking good. And when you see what we've done for 3.8, you know, less than 5 million, let's just say, good stuff from Orta. Good stuff from Orta. Diggler just doubling down here. Nanto is better than Gakpo. Hey, I wouldn't swap him. I wouldn't swap him. Callum asking, KG, do you see anything happening tomorrow? Well, listen, Callum, I'll say this. I didn't see Llorente going out on loan, and let's talk about him while we do that. And if there's anything else with McKennie, we'll bring it back up. But Diogo Llorente, see now out in Roma, he's signing there on loan with a view to I think it's going to be an option to buy. I know that a couple of articles say that it's going to be an obligation. I think Leeds and Roma are still working that out. But if it's an option to buy, Leeds are looking to recuperate the money, which I think is tremendous business. And it definitely sets up why we got him signing a new deal. And I know I said on this channel a few times, I didn't understand it. But unless we're going to look at the centre-back area again in the summer, then maybe that's probably why they're going to do it. But I didn't understand it, and I thought it was going to be the summer. But again, have to give credit again to the board for moving him out this month. And listen, with Llorente, I always thought that he, in his first year, he was good. He was good when he first came. He was a good ball playing centre back. Yes, he had a few mistakes in him, but I thought he was good, and he formed a very good partnership with Pascal Struijk towards the end of that season when we first came up. But he's looked very, very ropey. And I just look at him these days when he plays. I try and describe it like this. He looks like he tries too hard, if that makes sense. When he's running, he looks like he's running with such determination that he just gets it wrong. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think it was working out for him here. And listen, if we're able, I think this is over for him now, regardless of if Roma don't buy him in the summer. I think he goes elsewhere. So I think Llorente is done. And yeah, I think it's good for Llorente. He links up with Jose Mourinho, who will definitely get him playing well. I think Chris Smalling's probably looking to move from Roma. But either way, it's a good move for him. I think the Italian league will suit Diego Llorente down to the ground. Listen, I got nothing real bad to say about Diego. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but I thought he was a likable guy. But likable don't get you far in this business, especially if you don't match the league. And it was getting quite evident that he wasn't really trusted under Marsh as well. You saw as soon as he had a few bad games and culminating in that Brentford 5-2, that listen, he was gone. He was dropped to the bench and properly not seen again. Unless it was like for a substitute appearance. Sorry. So yeah, I think it's a good move for him and a great bit of business by Leeds, especially if we recuperate the money we spent. And obviously now getting him to sign that new contract makes sense. That is when you protect an asset. That's how you do it. There's other clubs that do that and have to keep the player for the whole duration of their contract because they've misread the situation. We obviously haven't and have had suitors for him, and Roma will be absolutely perfect for him. Caspadinho, thoughts on Everton appointing Dyche and bidding 40 million for Gallagher? Yeah, listen, Sean Dyche, I'm sure will give them more of a fighting chance to stay up. But the beauty of it for me, Caspadinho, is that we don't have to look at other teams. We just have to concentrate on ourselves. And with the team that we've got, I'm sorry, but and you know what? We're going to do this as well together, our ideal 1 to 11s, and not on this one, on a future one, maybe tomorrow or the next day. But I don't see, when I look at the bottom half of the table, there's not many teams better than us. There isn't. When you put it down on paper, I know football's not played on paper. We look absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? Obviously, defensively, there's always going to be a question mark, but I think it's going to improve. I think it's going to improve. Gavin just saying 594 in the chat, smash a like. Yeah, please do hit a like. It definitely helps the channel out. And yeah, hit a like for the transfer window, man. Big it up, man. Put your thumb on that. Pause. Zan Zabatini, shout out to you for the super chat. Need another centre backs. Chris Richards, perhaps. No, he's not going anywhere. He's at Palace. He's playing for Palace now. So he started off. I don't think he was playing that regularly when he first went there, but he's playing more games now. So yeah, I don't think we're going to get another centre back. The other centre backs that we're obviously getting in, which I'll just touch on now, is the Diogo Monteiro, 18-year-old from Servette, Portuguese player. Listen, I don't know anything about him, so I cannot give you anything in regards to him. But if the scouts have scouted him well at 18 and think that he's good enough to eventually come into the team to be a Llorente replacement, listen, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'll trust their judgment on this. Listen, for everyone that always say we signed Dan James and Tyler Roberts and everything else like that, we also signed Strout, Melier, Nanto, and Somerville, and many other successes. So you're not going to get it 100% right. So listen, we'll trust on Monteiro, and hopefully he comes good. I think maybe he'll start out in the under 21s and then move his way up to the first team. But listen, that leaves Robin Koch as our main guy, and I think that Robin Koch now being the lone main man as the right centre back, I think it will do him good as well. I do, especially with Verba next to him. Let's have a look. Gail saying maybe he's good as Nanto, maybe, or maybe he's a bust. Who knows? But what I would say, and this is just my opinion, is I would urge on the side of they get more right than they get wrong. I would say that, especially when it comes to youngsters. Listen, we're not the ones that are having to go out and spend 40, 50 million on players from other clubs because we didn't scout them properly. We're getting them in at the 3.8. Somerville, who knows how much he cost? That was cheap. Stroud was cheap. Yeah. Let's trust them with this one. I'm very pleased anyway. Let's have a look. I mean, a lot of you talking about Zanola. Is it? I mean, where do you see that? Because if it's not with some of my people that I follow, I'm gonna have to ignore it. I'm afraid. I'm gonna have to ignore it. Let me just have a look while I'm here. Let's have a look. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Listen, in regards to that one, I'll leave that one until tomorrow. And if anything happens, I'll come back. But the source mentioned, I won't name it, is not really somebody I follow. So I'll leave that one. The old guard seems to be disappearing now. Time for the next phase. Yeah, that's what it feels like, David. And McKennie, going back to McKennie, was talked about with the project with the 49ers and Andrea about the next phase of Leeds United. It just excites me, man. It really does excite me. And I'm not rushing this season. Somebody said, don't look past this season. We're in the cup now and move on to next. No, I'm enjoying this season. I'm enjoying the cup run. Obviously, it's time for us to get some wins on the under our belt in the league, but I think they're coming. I do. But yeah, listen, the future is looking very, very bright for us. Very, very bright. Let's have a look. Lee Waters here, big supporter of the channel. Lee saying, for people who think other clubs don't make mistakes, thinks again. Man U with Di Maria, Sanchez, Liverpool, Percy, I think with Gakpo. But yeah, every club has its transfer downfalls marched on together. Absolutely. You just don't get every transfer right. It's impossible. It's impossible. Even if you scout a player to the moon and think something may just not click with you, something may just not fit with the club that he's at, and it may work for him somewhere else. And it's about Anthony Gordon as well, because obviously people were saying with Jack Harrison, if he's to go, he should be more than Gordon. And I think Anthony Gordon has got there's obviously some potential there. And I think Newcastle have gone with Eddie Howe and said, listen, you've coached us this well. You're making us one of the toughest teams in the league to beat. We'll trust you, then we'll give you Anthony Gordon. And, I don't like talking about our old coach, but because you know it is time to move on. But I think it's a lot like us with Dan James. We knew that was an overinflated price, but you're thinking this guy has wanted him so much. He believes he got a whole folder on him. Maybe he can get unlock what's in Dan James, and obviously we just couldn't do that. Obviously, playing him up front didn't help, but you know, I think certain coaches get that, and I think that's why Anthony Gordon got the price tag and from Everton and the trust from Newcastle to Eddie Howe to make that transfer happen. So you can see why that happens. But listen, every club values their players differently. It's whatever that player is worth to the club. Absolutely. Um, let's have a look. Skip saying maybe it's time to play with 3 centre backs with attacking wing backs. Skip, I don't know if we've got the facilities for that. I don't think our wing backs are that good to attack. So I would my preference would be for our fullbacks to probably stay where they are, just because I think that our midfield players and attackers can do the damage up front, and I think it would suit us better. I mean, how many times have we seen Ayling get shouted at by Adams, by Rucker this season for being out of position when he's played? It's happened quite a few times. I think if we could just have a good, solid defensive line, let our 3 midfielders do the work, and let our attackers do their magic, I think we're cooking people. But listen, I'm all for any suggestions you got, and we'll talk about that in a future stream for sure. Uh, let's have a look. Yeah, Jack, that's what I'm saying. Woohoo, great news. I'm buzzing. I see the future and I see it brighter. And listen, you know what? We're not going to hindsight this in the future. This window has been excellent. This window has been excellent so far. It's not done yet. This window has been excellent. No matter what happens at the end of the season, I'm not going to hindsight this. This has been a window that I've wanted from the board. I've been crying for a window like this for 2 years, where we're getting in players of great quality and shipping out players that aren't going to make it or are just not good enough. And we've done it this month. I said if we get a midfielder, I would not complain, and I'm not complaining one bit. Gaspadino, let's sign Mbappe. Where's he going to play? Nah, I'm playing. Jack Wilson saying great midfield, and in other news, Forshaw rolls over on the physio bed. You know what? I do wonder if the way that we've acted this month, if Forshaw wasn't out injured, I do wonder if we would have cashed in on him this month. It's very interesting. But listen, he'll be here until the end of the season, and then listen, I think there'll be another couple of players that will be leaving in the summer where it's been overdue. And I think that we're going to do that then as well, courtesy of the 49ers. And fancy that as well. I mean, just talk about January, the hardest window. You know, the deals haven't been easy. We've had to negotiate here and there with some of these deals, but this has been like a summer window. For Leeds United, I'll talk about for Leeds United, you know, obviously we're not talking about those juggernauts near the top of the league. For Leeds United, this has been like a summer window. And when you add the 2 windows up together, hey, we've done all right. I mean, Sharpie saying still worried about our defense right side. Yeah, listen, Sharpie, it's going to be, but we're not a perfect team. We're certainly not a perfect team, and that's going to be one of our Achilles' heel. But I do think we're going to have more than enough to not worry about teams around us. I'm looking at teams around us signings. They're not moving me. I'm not looking at them going, oh man, this could be a good signing. I look at Conor Gallagher. Yes, Conor Gallagher would be a good sign for Everton. I think he said no to him anyway. But let's just say Everton were trying to get Conor Gallagher. He suits at Everton more than he does at Chelsea, because I don't think he's got the chops for the top 4, top 6 clubs. I think he's better at a club with less expectation. Karen is saying feel more positive with the squad we have now. 100%. The squad is, when you look at it, everybody will have a different 11 of what they think should be a starter. That's the beauty of the squad now. It is. I love it. I'm going to get to love it even more. Just hopefully we cut out the individual errors at the back, and we go forward with our potent attack, with Somerville still to come back as well. Oh yeah, we're gonna win a few games this season. We're gonna win a few games. Let me just see if there's anything else in regards to that. Oh yeah, by the way, also via DiMarzio, who have been on top of this as well. If the WESTON McKENNIE, if the deal becomes permanent, it will be a 5-year deal with the option to extend the future year. So it's essentially till June 2028 with an option till June 2029. So again, long-term strategy, long-term contract, which obviously helps with FFP in the future as well. So yeah. Yeah, so what we saying, man? This is for you guys now, man. Let's get some of your comments in. Please hit the likes on the video as well. And if you're not subscribed, join me. What are you waiting for? Let's do it. And hit the notification bell as well. Our kids say no excuses for Marsh. Now there is none. But with all fairness, Marsh, now our kid, he's been very defiant over the past couple of weeks, especially since the Villa game. We'd say that things are coming together. Proofs in the pudding. Let's get 3 points on the board more often than we have so far. But I feel it. I feel it's coming. Pause. I do though. I feel it's coming. Javi in the house. Yes, KG, you just missed the first 20, but big shout out to you and the content. Super happy with the transfer window and Llorente to Roma. Wow. Yeah. Listen, Jose Mourinho, you guys know I love Jose Mourinho. If anyone can get him to be a confident defender that looks more assured, it's Jose. It's Jose, man. Eamon saying we finally have a set piece and heading threat in McKennie. Yeah. And listen, I think as well that it's time for Verba to probably take a few set pieces as well from corners. Let's improve that. I think that we need that as well. But yeah, he is a threat in the air. Pascal is, let's not forget some of our players that we've already got. Pascal, I said at the start of the season, should be good for at least 5 goals from set pieces. He's got the ability, and we've seen a few times this year where he's got in good position and he's headed it just wide. You know what I mean? I think he's got more goals in him too. And I think that's going to come with a more stable defense. We need to bring a stable defense now. Just keep a same back four so there's some consistency there too. Shout out to Ace. McKennie will score against Forest. I bet you. Ace is saying that he's going to score against Forest. If you want to put that down on your bets, people, if you gamble, gamble sensibly, do so. And shout out to you, Ace, for the super chat. Much love. Gail saying, think Verba has been fab. And listen, Verba started this whole January off, didn't he, Gail? And look what he's done. It's a small sample size, of course, but you can already see this guy is an assured leader with competent defensive abilities. We've been crying for this. And listen, I'm all for Verba coming in, and I think he's pretty much taken Cooper's place now from what Mars said. I know Mars said that Cooper's still important and this is to help you out, Coops. But you know what that means. If you've ever been in a job and somebody else comes in your spot underneath you, you're like, hey, who are you? You're second to me, yeah? Okay. Yeah. And then a month later, you're gone. So listen, I think it's one of those, and we're better for Verba being there. And John F., here we go. Exactly. Verba positions himself right. He absolutely does. And when he makes one of those tackles, he's usually in and around the play. He's not like sprinting back for it. He's usually there, and then he'll just stick his leg out and get him. And I'm not saying he's going to be perfect every game, of course not, but he looks so much better than what we've currently got. So, and he's making Robin Koch look more assured. Making Robin Koch look less panicky. It's all good. It's absolutely all good. So yeah, I saw this as well. While the Fortnite live, full America versus United States and Leeds in the FA Cup. I saw that the other day, and I forgot to mention it. People keep talking about Leeds United being Leeds United States America and things like that. Even though we've currently got more Spaniards in the team, but I saw that name as well, full America as well. I thought that was pretty funny myself. William saying, good content, KG, and you talk a lot of sense. A strange feeling being so positive, hopefully not false confidence. Yeah, listen, William, I'm only going from what my club is showing me. And that's what I always do. If, like last January when we didn't sign anybody, and people remember I was, on a couple of match reactions, I was going a little bit crazy because why wasn't the club doing anything last January? Fast forward a year, we're doing more than what I expected. I would never expect this. So this is absolutely brilliant. And listen, this doesn't all fall apart. Let's just say we lose to Forest this weekend, and I hope we don't. But let's just say we do. It doesn't quell any of the confidence I've got going forward in the long run. Doesn't hurt it one bit. I think we're moving in the right direction. We're signing players that we should have been signing for a while, but now we're finally moving like a real Premier League club that wants to move up the table. I can't argue with that. I can't. Sly saying someone outed me, Katie. What do you mean someone outed you? With what? Tell me, Sly. James asking what would you back 4B for Forest. I'll do that in another video, James. Let me have time to marinate and think about that one. The Marching On podcast, I've had to wind my neck in because I gave it the board about lack of investment previously. Happy to be proved wrong, and we're now moving in the right direction. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with. Listen, you want to be proved wrong, and there's nothing exciting or sticking your nose up and saying, "Yeah, I was right. We didn't sign anybody." There's nothing good in that. You'd want to be wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong too because I didn't see any of this coming. So I didn't even mention our record signing Jorginho. He's in the mix as well. You know what I mean? Listen, uh, yeah, it's great. It's great. Alison, KJ, you're rushing to get to Love Island. I'm not. Listen, I'll put it on in a bit. It's fine. It's fine. Jammy Dodger saying, really looking forward to the weeks ahead. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be good. Sajal saying, KG, why aren't you doing the debrief anymore? You were so good on it. Apologies if you already explained it before. Yeah, listen, I'm just doing my own thing. I'm just doing my own channel. I'm here. I can do this whenever I want. You see me, I'm here at 2 a.m., 2 p.m., 11 p.m. Here now, 8:30 p.m. It don't matter. So yeah, that's all it is. I'm just concentrating on my own channel and doing that. It's for me. It's the best thing. It's the best thing I'm doing right now. So yeah, that's all it is. I'm not doing any panel shows anymore. Um, I'm not doing copy sheevers. So yeah, I'm just all fully focused on my own channel, and that's it really. But yeah, listen, shout out. Listen, and as well with that as well, Sajar. If you remember, I think you was watching from the start. I was only ever supposed to be on that show for 2 episodes. If you remember, I was supposed to be a revolving guest, and I just so happened to stay here. But yeah, we had a hell of a run. It was a great show, great show. AFV ASMR saying prop to UKG for calling McKennie. Yeah, listen, yeah, all right, man, all right. Yeah, I hear you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Marie saying love your channel, Kate. Listen, shout out to everyone that watches. Honestly, I never take it for granted. You whatever you're doing now, you're spending time listening or watching me. I never take that for granted. So really salute to all of you. Gail saying you're more positive, which I like. You see, people keep saying this, but I'm positive because the club are making movements to be positive. You know, if we hadn't signed, let's just say we hadn't signed anybody this month, then I wouldn't be bouncing like this. I wouldn't be. You know, you go with what the club are doing, and you do that with their actions. And so far, their actions are saying we want to be a serious Premier League club, and I'm with that. I'm absolutely with that. I want to show more chess. We want to do more victory streams together. You know, it's been a while since we did a league victory streams together. So that's all it is. That's all it is. It's not being positive. It's about being realistic of where we are. Yes, we need to climb the league, but the club are making steps to do that. So you got to praise them when they do it. Uh, uh, the March On podcast. You're the man, KG. Always a good crack with you, and always fair and respectful. Listen, respect is the main thing that you've got to have on here. Whether it's on here, me talking to you, or you talking back to me in the comments. Like some people do try and get a little fresh. You know, don't take my niceness for weakness. You know, one of them. But yeah, as long as it's always respectful. You know, you'll never hear me say that you've got a a dumb opinion or anything else like that. I may not agree, but that's what football's all about. That's the beauty of football. You don't have to agree with everyone. You know, some of my favorite pundits in football, I don't agree with everything they say, but that's the beauty of it. I'd hate if you all agree with everything I said. That'd be very, very boring. So yeah. Now shout out to everyone, man. It's good. It's good. But listen, let me just see if there's anything else that I may have missed. I don't think there is. Um, so look. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One other thing I wanted to mention in regards to the transfer window, by the way. Have you seen how Brighton are rejecting bids from Arsenal for Moises Caicedo? Now, this is another thing, and we, as Leeds United fans, we've missed this for 16 years, where big clubs used to always pick off the little clubs' talent, and there wasn't much fight because there wasn't that much money as there is now. Listen, Brighton are saying no, we're not selling him, and if they do sell him, it's going to be for an astronomical amount. And that's one thing I just wanted to say as well. I think it's brilliant how the Premier League has evolved like that, because before all Man United or someone would have to do to Everton is slap down 30 million, and that club would basically have to accept. With the TV money, sponsorship money, and the growth of the Premier League now, teams like Brighton do not have to get bullied by Arsenal. I'm here for it. I absolutely love it. I love what Brighton are doing. Brighton's recruitment, by the way, and you know, you talk about Matoma and Moises. They cost 7 million, less than 7 million, and now look how much they're going for. It's all in the recruitment. But shout out to that. It's wicked. I wish we never missed all of that. By the way, it does make you think we missed 16 years of that kind of growth. But listen, we'll make up for it now. I'm sure. I'm sure. But yeah, people asking about Jack Harrison. I haven't seen anything in regards to Jack lately. Actually, one of the latest things I saw about Jack was that we'd rejected the 20 million, but I'm not sure how true that is. I don't know if that offer is off the table yet. So let me just check before I exit. No, nothing there. Nothing there. No, nothing. There's nothing else going on. There's still nothing else going on. But what I will say is that there is still another day left of the transfer window. So who knows? You know, we were surprised with the Llorente news this morning. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Who knows? Does Dan James ever come back? I don't think so, Declan. I don't think so. Unless we're gonna bring him back to send him back out on loan again because Fulham need the space and they're not going to sign Duffy permanently, then I don't see him coming back. I think he stays at Fulham for the season, much like Charlie Creswell too. I think he's probably staying at Millwall now because I think if we're going to do another deal for him, oh, I see Jack Wilson saying rejected Coventry's bid for Creswell. So yeah, maybe he's staying at Millwall too. And listen, we'll see what else transpires tomorrow. We'll see what else transpires tomorrow. Marcus Smith's the same. Given Melier's interview with L'Equipe, do you think he's in line for a new deal? Maybe, Marcus. And again, that goes to an earlier comment in, do we have to sell all our young talent? And if Melier wants to stay, I'm not against it. I'm not against it, but obviously it's got to be a good and improved contract. And overall, he's earned it. He has earned it overall. So we'll stay tuned for that. But if the club do want to cash in on him and get another goalkeeper for cheaper, Livakovic, then I can see that happening too. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one, and maybe that happens in the summertime. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows, Jack? And I don't care. I don't care. Let him. Oh no, he's at QPR, isn't he? But you know, I've seen some QPR fans. Yeah, they're not impressed. They're not impressed. So, but yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody asked me how much about the Moses deal. How much he should go for. I have no idea, but you know, I did message somebody today, a current player in the Prem, and I just asked him in regards to Moises because he's been told to stay away from Brighton's training, and I just asked him just in general, nothing specifically, just when somebody's linked with a club like Arsenal, do the rest of the players take it offensively? And he says not everybody. People understand. You know, he's been here for a little bit. He's been there for a little bit. But you can understand when a club like Arsenal, all the big guns come in, you have to take that opportunity. So a lot of the players there are understanding of Moises, probably are understanding of Moises' situation. So yeah, it's just interesting in that sense because I know a lot of people usually think that the players must hate this guy for trying to duck out on them, but I think a lot of the players do understand that it's a short career, and if you can get a move like that, it may not come again. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting. No, won't say, man. I won't say. I got to keep that close to my chest. Marching. Oh, sorry, that's gone. That's gone. Let me just go back. Marching on saying, is this the best window you've seen for SKG? Yeah, easily in our lifetime. In our lifetime as Leeds fans with the whole transfer windows, most definitely this is the best one. And I'll probably just combine the two together, both summer and January. I think it's been a pretty good season overall in overhauling this team. And I think we're going in the right direction. But listen, people, I'll leave it there. I may be back tomorrow on the transfer deadline and we can chop it up again. But I'll definitely be back the day after. So definitely join me for the one on Wednesday. So please join me for that one. If I'm back tomorrow, we'll see if anything happens in the Leeds United atmosphere, see what else we're doing in Leeds United's world. But yeah, we'll continue another day. And listen, enjoy the new signings, keep the high up, try and work out in your head what your best 11 is, and we'll talk about it in another stream. Peace out, people. Much love, and hit the like before you go. Peace.